So I promised now that we would talk about Mario Golf Super Rush and my first impressions. It is a little bit different from a review. I don't think I'm prepared to review the game. I've only had it for 10 days, which granted I guess could be enough time to think of a full-blown review, but I honestly have not had that much time to play it, even in these 10 days. Although I would not say I have barely played it, but I haven't played it enough to where I would be comfortable saying, yeah, I know everything about Mario Golf Super Rush, and I can objectively review it. So I just kind of want to give my impressions of all the things that I have played so far. We're going to talk about the modes. We're going to talk a little bit about Golf Adventure, just the character selection, the courses, the online experience. Just pretty general things that aren't like super big about the game. So let's just start with the modes there. What is standard golf like? Well, first off, it's pretty different from what Mario Golf has been like in the past, and not quite in the same way that like Mario Tennis Aces play experience was very different from classic Mario Tennis. Well, and even then, that's kind of up for debate because you could just see Mario Tennis Aces gameplay as just the logical extension of the gameplay change that started with Mario Tennis Open on the 3DS. But standard golf feels similar yet very different to classic Mario Golf. Like the way the classic Mario Golf worked was it was the simple 3-click system. Click the button to start your swing. Click it again for your power. And then click it again for accuracy. First off, there's no third click, which that was actually a pretty controversial thing I noticed for some folks that are really into golf games. I thought I would dislike it, but I haven't really missed it that much. I've just kind of accepted that Super Rush is just a different take on Mario Golf. Although, again, I don't think it's a different take in the same way that Mario Tennis Aces was a different take yet. And in some ways, I am disappointed by that. But it's still fun. And that's the thing I want to get across here. For standard golf being, I mean, it's still golf. Like, it's kind of hard to screw up golf because golf itself is fun. But for the changes, as far as like, I think a big one for me is, at least in Mario Golf Toadstool Tour and Advanced Tour and World Tour on the 3DS, Toadstool Tour GameCube, Advanced Tour GBA, and World Tour on the 3DS, I should say. The way that all the bars worked on those, or the power meters worked on those, I should say, is they actually labeled, this is how far you need to go for this shot. And they had a full line in the air that showed this is how far your ball will go. And interestingly, Camelot went and took out some of that information. And in some ways, I find that good in that it feels a little more strategic. But I also just kind of wish I had that information at the same time. Like, I don't get why it had to be gone. Instead of being able to look where your shot's going to land and having a full line, you just kind of see the start of a shot line where it would go. And when you pull up the map, instead you just kind of see this ring of, if you shoot the ball, or if you hit the ball with complete power, this is how far it will go, with a little bit of a carry added. And in some ways I find that more useful, but again, not at the same time. And of course, not having an idea of how many yards a shot will carry makes it harder to judge, like, should I go full force? Should I not go full force? Should I go a little bit less? Backspin, topspin, all that sort of stuff. So, but for as much as I miss it, I actually have found that it hasn't really made a difference, which, for as much as I miss it, I actually think it's pretty commendable that for getting rid of these extra tools that should on paper help the player perform better, I still find myself performing generally similar, in some ways actually possibly better than how I performed in playing Mario Golf Toadstool Tour and World Tour on the 3DS. So, mixed bag. I would err on preferring that those tools come back, and of course I would prefer that there is a third click. I still don't quite get why that had to go, and why accuracy is now just sort of random. But, I have not I ultimately have not found myself really needing them, and that is pretty impressive. So, hats off, but hats on to Camelot for those changes. But, I mean, standard golf is standard golf. You play holes of golf, and that's what it is. And it's fun, and I like it. Now, speed golf is the mode that Nintendo and Camelot really advertised with this game. After all, it is Mario Golf Super Rush, so you would assume that there is some sort of mode that you rush around in, and speed golf is that mode. And it's an interesting take because, like I said when this game was first revealed, speed golf actually was a mode in, for sure, Mario Golf Advanced Tour and Toadstool Tour, and I believe in World Tour as well. I don't know about the N64 game or the Game Boy Color games, but the way that those worked is it was just kind of playing standard golf and you were timed. And that's not too different here. You are timed, of course, but you also, so you gain 30 seconds for every shot that you take, and the most interesting aspect is you actually have to run to your ball. Now, one of the things I didn't like so much at first is I actually felt that the characters, for it being speed golf, I thought they were too slow. But then I tried out more characters and I realized, oh, that's probably just because I was playing as the power characters, which are the slowest characters. So then you get into that sort of interesting risk versus reward idea of, well, do I want to play as a power character like King Babam and be able to hit shots very far, but run slow as molasses to the ball? Or does it behoove me to play as Toad, who may need to take more shots to get to the same location as King Babam, but I can get there way faster and save a lot more time? And I don't know, I actually found myself, other than the next one I'm going to talk about here, I found myself switching between standard golf and speed golf pretty frequently, so I found them both pretty equally fun. And I don't know, I'm not, like, I like Mario Golf more because I like golf more than I like tennis, but Mario Tennis Aces, and granted, actually that's something I should address here, the way I'm envisioning Mario Tennis Aces in my mind is in my July 2021 brain, so, you know, I can't really make a fair comparison here, but I feel like Mario Tennis Aces now feels like a true evolution on the classic Mario Tennis formula. But Mario Golf Super Rush doesn't quite feel like an evolution on what Mario Golf should be. And, well, certainly these are fun, I don't know if they accomplished that. So it's just interesting how something can be fun but not like revolutionary. It's kind of like I guess in that sense I can feel solace in that, it still gives people a reason to play Mario Golf Toadstool Tour and still play Mario Golf World Tour because they still have their utility in providing something different from Super Rush. But I kind of digress there. Battle Golf is the third mode, and this to me is kind of what I would call Aces mode, because Battle Golf is clearly going for that same aesthetic and vibe that Mario Tennis Aces provided. I'm not exactly sure how to describe it, but, Aces was all about, like, neon and just, like, big lights, and I envision, when I think of Mario Tennis Aces, I think of the Marinas Stadium at night, and the courts that are all lined up, and it looks super, like, neat and futuristic, and Battle Golf is definitely trying to go for that idea. And similar to how Mario Tennis Aces was described as playing kind of like a fighting game, and that you have to counter all these shots, I feel like Battle Golf kind of tries to go for that idea, but it doesn't quite pull it off. And it's kind of sad because I think it could. I think so there are two Battle Golf courses in air quotes. But the first one I think is kind of sad in that it's just kind of like the two ends raise uphill and then the area in the middle is flat, but you can just kind of traverse anywhere and you don't have to do any special sort of navigation. Whereas the second course, which is called the technical course, even though I would think it actually envisions a lot more strategy, despite the fact that the first course is called the strategic course. Actually, I guess it's not irony, because as Bender would say, it is not the use of words expressing something other than their literal intention. It's just kind of, I don't know, I'm sure there's a word for it. But, I find the technical course to be far more interesting, because you do have to navigate. You can't just navigate anywhere in the technical course. There are special ramps you have to go up, and there are more chain chomps and more thwomps and womps and enemies on the technical course than there are in the strategic course. But I suppose I should clarify, well, what do you do in Battle Golf? So yourself and 3 other opponents have to be the first person to claim 3 holes. So there are like 8 holes laid out in both courses, and you want to get 3 holes before anyone else does, because then no one else can claim 3. And I find it really fun, but it's not the mode I'm going to gravitate to first, because it's kind of a unique take on golf, in that you're all vying to, like, I need to get to that hole first, and so it's taking speed golf and putting it in this small little area, and I don't know, I'm not exactly entirely sure how to describe what makes it fun, but I actually find it really frenetic and fun it almost reaches what Mario Tennis Aces did, in that it reminds me of it, in that Mario Tennis Aces is pretty frenetic and fast and stylish, like Battle Golf is, but it doesn't quite hit all the way there. But those are all of the regular golf modes, and I don't know if that's enough to carry a full $60 game. And that's something that a lot of people have brought up, is like, is this enough modes? Is this a finished game? And I am the person who famously said on this show that I think Animal Crossing New Horizons, widely considered to be one of 2020's best games, is an unfinished game. And I actually am going to go out there and say I don't think Mario Golf Super Rush is unfinished, but it would very much benefit from more modes. And it is certainly disappointing that some past modes aren't in the game, and I hope that Camelot goes back around to add more of these modes. But the reason I feel confident in saying Animal Crossing New Horizons is unfinished, but not saying Mario Golf Super Rush is that Animal Crossing took away, and in my opinion found no, not like reasonable, but like sufficient replacement for staple Animal Crossing mechanics, like collecting furniture sets. And the replacement is supposed to be crafting furniture, but I don't think that is a sufficient replacement, because it does not give the same feeling that, oh man, I need that one last furniture item to have a complete room that all has the same furniture set in it. I don't get that same feeling from it. Whereas from Mario Golf Super Rush, I can still at least feel like I'm playing Mario Golf, but it just feels like it's light on content. And in that sense, it just needs more modes. It should have club slots where you get 3 random clubs on a slot machine. It should have, I don't know if this is a stand, it should have, here's one. It should have ring shot holes. It should have the go-go gates. I think that was only in Mario Golf Advance Tour, but that was fun. It was similar to the ring shot, of course. Actually, that might have been their replacement for ring shot in that game. I don't remember if it was in it. It's been a while since I played Advance Tour. But the point is, it should have those, and it is disappointing that they're not there. I'm still happy with what I have, but it should still be a priority to bring more modes into the game. And in that sense, yeah, it's kind of questionable whether the game is worth $60. I feel like I've gotten a good amount of play out of it, although, of course, if I could speak, I want to continue playing more, but I can understand why people would be disappointed. And of course, the other big mode is the Golf Adventure. And there's one thing I want to get out of the way. This is something that Ian said on the CU podcast recently, but is not true. But I don't blame him for not knowing this, because Mario Golf Super Rush does not make this clear. And in fact, in some ways, it kind of leads you to think you have to do this. You do not have to unlock all of the courses by completing the golf adventure mode. The game makes it seem that way, but that is not the case. To obtain all of the courses, you need to complete 18 holes on each course, except for the rookie course. So if you complete 18 holes on the Bonnie Greens, I think it's called the Bonnie Greens, but it's Bonnie something, and complete 18 holes on Ridge Rock Lake, and 18 holes on the Balmy Dunes, you will unlock the proceeding course. But again, it doesn't tell you that the Mario Golf Super Rush doesn't tell you that anywhere. So people are led to think that you have to play the golf adventure to unlock all of the courses, and that's just sad because, I mean, it's great to see Mii characters coming back, like how they did in Miitopia, but golf adventure is so generic and boring. And that's really, really a shame, because I found the story mode in Mario Tennis Aces to actually be, I mean, it wasn't, like, amazing. It was certainly no replacement for the RPGs that were in the handheld Mario Golfs and Mario tennis games on the Game Boy Color and the Game Boy Advance. But that was certainly... the adventure mode in Aces was far better than the golf adventure. Because, in Golf Adventure, you actually played as Mario, and you played out a story, and you had characters that weren't just Mario enemies around you staffing the whole area. And, of course, you actually did more RPG-y things than you didn't just play golf in tournaments. I mean, sure, that was a big part of the plot, but you could go around and do practices that were more interesting. And I don't know, just something about Golf Adventure comes off as super generic and boring. And frankly, now because I found out that I just have to beat 18 holes to get each course, I have all the courses. But I am not going back to Golf Adventure because it was so boring. Well, I guess I shouldn't say that. I probably will go back to it at some point and beat like the bosses and all that jazz, but I don't have any reason to want to go back, especially because I'm stuck at Ridge Rock Lake with technically a fourth mode of golf that I consider to be absolutely horrible. It's called XC golf, or cross country golf, and essentially it works the same way. It's almost like if you took battle golf and tried to apply it to the regular courses, which just plain doesn't work. For sure for Ridge Rock Lake, and that's the course that it's introduced on. So I already described. So in battle golf, you hit your shot from the tee, and you get to the hole. After you claim a hole in battle golf, you tee off from that green you just claimed to go to another hole. And so in cross-country golf / XC golf, you start on the first hole of Ridge Rock Lake, and you tee off and finish a hole. You have to beat it in a certain number of shots. And once you finish that hole, you can continue on to any other hole. So you tee off from the green going to another hole. So yeah, the idea is supposed to be that you need to find the ideal route to finish the course at this point I have to do all 9 holes in one go. And I just can't do it. I cannot figure out the proper route because the cliffs that I would want to go up are so high that it's hard to make my way there. Now, granted, I'm sure there is a route that I can go down that probably would take me through the high holes first and let me go down to the lower holes, but I just can't be bothered to work with it now that I have all the courses, because what I want to play is Mario Golf with the Mario characters, not Wii Sports Mii Golf. So yeah, it's just kind of disappointing to see where that all went. And it's sad because I think XC golf could be interesting, but it just leaves such a bad first impression. Another point, actually, kind of getting into like the bit of how the golf adventure is boring, is oftentimes you're asked to do the same tasks 3 times. So you'll be asked to do like, hey, play a few practice holes on this course. Okay, you played a few practice holes, now do the qualifying round for the full tournament. Okay, you won the qualifying round, now go do the full tournament. And there's very little to do other than maybe going to the practice area and getting a handful of practice lessons, but even then, you're just doing the same sort of thing. So there's not a lot of incentive to keep playing in my eyes, and that is disappointing. Let's see. Let's go on to the character selection. So I like the character selection. I mean, you've got all your Mario mainstays, your Mario, Luigi, Peach, Donkey Kong, Toad, Rosalina, Wario, Waluigi, Yoshi. Did I mention Yoshi already? You got your standard Mario characters, and you have a few enemies. I think it's really interesting to see Chargin' Chuck and King Babam, because those are enemies that have never been playable before, especially a boss like King Babam. That's pretty fun. Pauline is back from Mario Odyssey and Super Mario Tennis Aces. Just Mario Tennis Aces. I was trying to combine Super Mario Odyssey and Mario Tennis Aces in that thought there. So I think the character selection's fine, but of course I do wish it was bigger. I think people just kind of naturally want more characters, and knowing from E3 that there will be additional updates, I genuinely kind of hope that Mario Golf Super Rush follows the Mario Tennis Aces model, and every month adds a character and adds some kind of new minigame mode, or just reinvents the minigame modes for the characters and adds tournaments. That's something that people mention that they're disappointed, is that there's no tournaments, especially online tournaments. To me, it's not a big deal. I find that Mario Golf seems to be going the Luigi's Mansion 3 and Dark Moon route of doing online, where you just have to go around and get into rooms with people, and I think that's fine, although I certainly see the utility of tournaments, and a lot of people said that the tournaments actually helped keep Mario Tennis Aces online scene alive, so, again, to me it's not like a huge deal, but I see the utility in it, and I do think that tournament mode would be a good addition to add to Mario Golf Super Rush, so I guess I'm kind of in the middle compared to others. I'm not, like, outraged and upset that it's not there, but I'm not like, no, it doesn't need it, it's fine. I just, I think it'd be nice. But it's not going to make or break my experience. As far as the courses, the game kind of provides, again, sort of like a not super great first impression with the rookie course and Bonnie Greens, in that they are very much generic golf courses. There's very little Mario-y about them. And even then, outside of the special shots and the dashes, there's not a lot Mario-y to happen in those courses. But as you get to the later courses, like Ridge Rock Lake and the Balmy Dunes, you start seeing, oh hey, that's a Mario enemy in the course. That's like the sand blargs and the I can't think of what they're called, but they're like blue cold air in Super Mario 3D World, and to push you off the stage and to try to get you in cold water in Super Mario Odyssey. I don't know what the enemies are called. But, it's nice to see the game get a little more looking like Mario throughout the course of its playtime. And, of course, the Bowser... Oh, is it Bowser Highlands or the Bowser Badlands? I want to say it's the Bowser Highlands, because I think the Badlands are the Toadstool Tour Bowser-themed course. Again, it's just nice to see things get a little more Mario-y as the game goes on. But I do kind of wish... in general, but this has been a flaw with all the Mario Golf games, to be honest, I kind of wish they went straight up, let's just have super duper Mario-y courses for all the courses. So, courses are fine. I actually find, of all the courses, Balmy Dunes to be the hardest course. I don't know why. I've just had a lot of trouble on that desert course compared to all the other courses. But to be fair, I have only played the Bowser Highlands once, so that probably is the hardest course, but I've only played it once. Similarly, with the courses, a lot of them use like just generic golf hole designs, which is fine. But again, I'd like to see, I really wish, because the Bowser Highlands kind of does this, I would like to see more Mario-y holes. I think about Mario's star in Mario Golf on the Nintendo 64. That entire course is based around, having holes shaped like Mario characters, which is good and bad in that makes the holes super hard. But it at least feels like, oh yeah, I'm playing a Mario game, as opposed to, oh yeah, I'm just playing golf. But it's Mario who's doing the golf. Um, so, and again, there is like a hole that has like, it's either a lava lake or there's something about it that's shaped like the Bowser logo, but that's about it. And there's Mario enemies throughout the course, but that's not enough. I want a little bit more. That's all I'm saying. I just want to see them go that little extra mile. Um, and even then, I guess I can't be too fair. I'm not sure, because I did see a dash pad. I know New Donk City from Super Mario Odyssey is going to be added as a course in some way. But it looks to me, because I saw dash paneling, I think it's going to be a Battle Golf arena. But I'm not sure. So if more courses are added to Mario Golf Super Rush, that'd be great. Especially more Mario-y courses. Even if it comes in the form of paid DLC, that would be fine by me. So, again, courses are fine. I feel like I've had a pretty good experience with the game in my first impressions, so I would probably lean more on the 8 out of 10 so far than the 7s that it's gotten. Although, again, I don't know when 7 out of 10 suddenly became it's like mediocre score. I always thought that like 6 was kind of the cutoff to where you can call a game mediocre, and 7 meant that a game really was, like, to me 7 was like the low bar for good and beyond, but I don't know if that's just me. But before I close out this, I should talk about my online experience. I haven't had too many any issues. I have had a few rooms disband on me, which is frustrating. I have had it a few times where it's like, I'll play one round of a game and then the room disbands. Which, I mean, I can't blame people. I do that, where it's just like, I want to play one game and then I'll disband the room, or I'll leave quickly for whatever reason. But, you know, that obviously isn't the best thing to have happen when you're playing online. And like I said, I have had one or two game drops so far, but it really hasn't been all that bad. I do like how you can filter so many options about the rooms when you search for them, and of course that means you can set up a ton of options when you set up a room, so really it's really easy to find. Like, if you just want to play 3 holes, you're going to find a few options. If you just want to play Battle Golf, you're going to find a Battle Golf room, although that's the least common one, of course. If you want to just play 6 holes of Speed Golf, but you can't play as Mii characters, and there's no Star Clubs allowed. Actually, I don't know if the Star and Superstar Clubs allowed or not allowed is not an option, actually, so maybe I shouldn't say that. But for sure, the Mii's and the number of holes and the mode, you can find rooms like that, because people will set things up that way, and that's amazing. I love that about the game. And I haven't really had, I don't know if this is because the Camelot is using unique servers for this, or if it's because the type of connection. Like, I think it's called rollback netcode. I talked about that with the online in Smash a while back, and how it does not use rollback netcode for a smoother experience. I'm genuinely not sure what the online infrastructure is for Mario Golf Super Rush, but I've had a perfectly fine playing experience for one reason or another. I have had a little bit of lag. Like, honestly, the first match I did left a pretty bad first impression, because I had lag and some freezing and some lag on using the power bar, or the power meter, which is not good for a golf game, because you really do want to be exact. But outside of that first match, I've had very few issues, so in general, the online experience I found is pretty good, and I think that covers what I have to say about Mario Golf Super Rush. I'll probably come back to this topic as the game keeps getting updated, so stay tuned for more information as the game comes out. I'm probably going to just revisit this when all of the updates are done, to be honest, since then I can do a more fair comparison between Super Rush and Aces, so... but yeah, that's all I have for Mario Golf, and really, that's all I have to say today for the whole show. We managed another approximately 2-hour episode. I seem to be doing pretty good at getting a similar amount of time. Who knows if that's going to make editing a pain in the rear end? I sure hope it doesn't. I know my Amazon segment's probably not going to have any B-roll or images, so that should at least help speed things along. But, that's all I have to say here today, folks. So please, if you can, do any sort of engagement that you have on whatever platform you prefer to listen or watch the Creative Outlet Podcast on. You could like the episode, heart it. If you're on, I know you can do that on Google Podcasts. You could, of course, I still want my voice messages. I have not checked to see if I have any voice messages. I very well could have some right now, and I'm just not aware of it. So if you want to send in one of those, that'll be awesome. Again, that's the one thing I want. If I can get a voice message, I would be a very happy young man. But either way, I look forward to seeing everyone once more in episode 11, and when it comes out in August. Unfortunately, I'm thinking that's probably going to be the last one of the summer, because I do have some things that are happening in August as well. Of course, my birthday is one of them as well, so we'll just have to see what happens. So thank you very much for listening in today, folks. It has been a pleasure.